Cancer, we are here to do your February read. Those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. Now, this is going to probably have a bit more than the other zodiac signs because I've done a bit more research. So, generally speaking, and this month particularly, I have tried to actually go back to my intuitive nature, and I have pulled the cards, I've left them, I've sat there, I've pulled clarifiers to pull the story together, because I know watching videos you want to get straight to the punchline. And also I do tend to have psychic downloads. Now I do feel for you guys moving into this month. Now this is a very broad reading where it's going to cover various areas, and the reason I do that, and I do cover your romance house, is so that if anything's coming at left field, you're actually well and truly forearmed, forewarned. Now really do keep your P's and Q's about you with work. It is your 7th house in astrology. And I have actually noticed some aspects playing out where you need to be a little bit more mindful, and probably from the 22nd, because Mars is going to be moving into Capricorn. Okay, so that's going to be quite unique with that energy, and it can become quite malefic in a sense. It can be quite to its detriment. So, and especially when I have actually pulled cards in this area, it's already coming up in your 7th house. So we'll get into this. Now, the energy of what's covering you, you've got... some zodiac signs, I have placements of how many cards per area, and particular zodiac signs tend to actually wish for more, and on your occasion you've got quite a busy reading. You have 2 crowning energies, so there potentially could be 2 areas of your life you're really looking at. There could have been 2 main areas, and obviously with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, it's family, it's work, and we're looking at these things. But I'm seeing a situation that potentially could have played out, and it is your crowning energy. And in your mind's eye, I'm feeling as though you might have stayed at a particular level dealing with a lot of arduous situations, and it's really taken its toll. Do be very mindful, because this is going to be a pretty busy month for you, and we do have Mercury going retrograde, and that is on the 16th of February. But you'll feel it from the beginning of the month regardless. I mean, I usually find that yes, you have issues with communication, and that's everyone collectively. It can be technology related situations. It can also be, you know, cars, your day-to-day routine. It can be hindered and crosswise really. And especially with governments, payments, banks, etc., with the Capricorn frequency coming through and it falling in Mars. So really it may be where you're fighting for something, and this is where, if you felt you'd rested on your laurels in some shape or form, especially since it's your 7th house, you can be working extremely hard in the month of February. It also may be where it may be to the benefit of your pay pack, but to the detriment of your schedule. And I'm really seeing this come through. But it can just be very, in particular, your career booms, and it can be due to external people directly being removed. But I'll get down to that in a moment. Now, the one thing I am feeling with you guys, you're shifting direction. You're really wishing to, in your own power, move towards things that feel better. It is frustrating you. You were attempting to create a happy resolve in some sense or some shape. To no resolve, I'm hearing. So it can be an arduous situation that you've been dealing with for a very long time. It almost could be eat, pray, repeat, you know, and you're really wanting to get out of that frequency. You're seeing that this energy isn't letting up, and you're really wanting to shake it off and shift direction. Now, another area that's come up for you, so things are looking up the end of a difficult situation. And I'm feeling almost having to walk away from something, needing to remove yourself, or you know, just blocking it out, so to speak. This is the requirement for where you are right now. You know, keeping a distance to people that potentially aren't working with you, and creating that boundary. So it could be a temporary situation. But at the moment, the way it's looking, and I will pull a clarifier on that, it's really looking like you're drawing a line in the sand and you're going, that's the boundary. I'm going that way. Your next card that you've got is the King of Air. Now this card's in reverse. And this is where it plays out, where I am feeling this is to do with the situation. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice, Capricorn energy. Balance mental and emotional consideration. Now, this card being in reverse, I also pulled a clarifier, and you have Soldier in reverse. And this is like a battle. This is like trying, you know, whatever you had to move away from, you have been working on for a long time. You have been trying every which way. And sometimes this might be energetically, it's completely out of your power or control what happens. But at the same time, it could very well be you have attempted to rectify a foundation, a situation, you know, in every area of your life, but there is a main area, and you will know how this directly relates to you. These are general reads, but it will fit. You know, you'll know right away where this is sitting. This situation you directly have had to walk away from, because no matter which way you have attempted to fix it, deal with it, rejig it, a bit like Saturn, you know, and Pluto, it hasn't moved, so it's become deeply frustrating. Then we go further down and the story plays out. So I would say you are really honing in on what makes you happy, and that's it. No ifs and buts about it. There's no room for that. There's no wiggle room. You may have been manipulated for a very long time. It's interesting because we do have the Leo moon and you have strength in reverse. So this may be, and I'm feeling this is more what it is, really on the external, what it looks like isn't really what's going on the internal, because with this Leo moon we're really asked to go inside ourselves. It's like not what the outside is, which can be, you know, very beautiful, very as my sister says, very airy, very nice. But really, you know, okay, is that matching what's going on the inside? And if that's not matching, we're really guided to do some internal work. And being that the sun and the moon, you know, we've got the Leo energy with the moon because it's governed by Leo, and we've also got the energy of Leo, the moon, Cancer. You guys can tend to operate quite similar, but more on a polar opposite sort of energy. I am feeling with strength in reverse, needing to really look inside yourself, needing to and it can be a purge of the ego where you're looking at something, and especially with your sign being connected in with families and things, and having this reality check and having to go on the inside. And again, we do have house as clarifier on top of strength in reverse, you know, and saying, you know, with 11, and it's number 11, it's saying you're on the right track. It's to do with a family related dynamic and something that has come to an end, and you're trying to process that. Also, it can be that you're actually needing a situation on the home front to come to an end, so it can balance out, and that has been quite arduous. The next card you have, which again is in reverse, is the Five of Fire, completing goals, bothersome details, conflict, and others. And again, it's screaming the same thing. There could be a situation for you guys, and again, it's like the tools being able to deal with it. Again, I am saying, especially with Soldier in reverse, you do feel that your power, and this can even be legalities, court situations, especially with the Capricorn frequency, but connecting them with your 7th house. You know, this is marriages, contracts, partnerships. In all facets of life, you're really looking at it and you're having to go back to basics. You're having to look at them and see how everything is going to interfit. And it's unique that the Capricorn energy has fallen into this area when you are actually governed by home, okay? Your family. You are family orientated. That's the way your sign is. So with this being in a reversal, this can be some conflict, it can be disputes, especially with aspects with the Mars frequency connecting in with Capricorn. As I said, it can be quite a toxic situation that has not evolved. And you do really need to be on guard around that time. Just be cautious and be mindful, especially if you're dealing with lower frequency energies. Create healthy boundaries. And, you know, within that time frame with Mars being in Capricorn, which comes through on the 22nd, just be very cautious, especially when it does come to nurturing marriages, contracts, partnerships, because I do feel if there is interference, it will cause conflict. So with the interferences, creating those healthy boundaries, it's going to safeguard that, but also don't get yourself too tied up in conflict management, especially since it's going to be Mercury retrograde. Now, with you not willing to do this anymore, and this is the way it's coming through, more so with interference, conflict of interest, manipulation potentially, or feeling this push-pull energy, you've got this card in reverse, which is about abundance, finances, money, but it's also emotions as well in reverse. No room for it. Not communicating. Letter in reverse. Not seeing someone. Like really stepping back and needing to create space, and it's like a movement of these situations, having to move things around. So again, as I mentioned, and I will get into work shortly, that could even be people directly, leaving a job and you get more workload. It does tend to benefit your zodiac sign in this time. The other area that comes through in your crowning energy is a relationship that moves to the next level. But I do feel this is through your way of directly relating to it. It's like not necessarily being at the right place at the right time, but taking a direct approach or taking an approach to resolve some of these situations. It's like getting to the foundation. And anything that breaks down can be rebuilt, but it's preventing that. It's not needing to get to that. Seeing the flaws in the system, putting the braces on the building so that you don't have to continually rebuild. But I do feel this is really going to the next level, and it can be where you're moving from one energy into a better frequency and really pouring your energy into it to get the best out of the situation. A relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, a positive resolution to conflict. And again, I do feel this is very much linking in with your 7th house. This is the general part of the read, but for some of you, this may actually be a connection that is starting to get more movement than it's had in a long time. And the feelings resurfacing in the situation, but it does fall into your 7th house. And, those things are really going to be in focus. So anything to do with marriages, contracts, partnerships, positive once it reaches the 22nd, just be on your A game. Be really cautious, try and pace yourself through, dot your P's and Q's. If you're doing paperwork, be very certain that you've read everything, double check. You will have to have tolerance and patience though, because especially with Mars energy, it really wants to move forward, and sometimes it can be quite tactical. There can also be jealousy connected to partnerships, jealousy connected to your work ethic. Naysayers, also people wanting to come in and pull the wool out from under you, especially with the Capricorn frequency coming through. So just be very mindful. Don't be sharing your top secrets when it is, a business plan, for instance, because there could be jealous energies around from the beginning of the month through. And this really is shifting, all the way through to May. And it's interesting because my chart, I do have Cancer in my chart, but there are some situations, siblings as well, siblings, children, family members, there can be dynamics coming up where you're going to have to be quite, balanced and neutral in the situation so that you're not directly, getting dragged into the situation. I feel you're taking the correct approach here. You're stepping back, you're observing, and you're looking at these dynamics in all these areas of your life and trying to neutralize it and neutralize the stress on yourself. So as I said, with work, you have the end of a difficult situation, embracing the change and expecting things to get better now, recovering from addictions. It's in reverse. So again, it's in the area that you're working on. You have been working so very hard, and it feels like it's never ending. It feels like trigger points potentially could come up, but it's also be very careful, be on your A game. Don't go back over old ground, because this is, where your health could be impacted. So just be really kind to yourself in February, especially with the Mars frequency coming through. We do have Juno going retrograde, and we've also got Mercury going retrograde. And again, Juno is in Libra for a year. With it being Libra, it can be something to do with justice, something to do with contracts. Again, it does fall very similar to your 7th house, marriages, contracts, partnerships. So it's the cutting out of them and the beginning of a new one. So there potentially could be some shift here. And, especially in astrology, it really does bode well. With the card here, I do feel it's a fresh start, but it's you're working towards a purpose. So it may not even be the work. It might be the purpose of why you're doing it and what you're trying to achieve in the long term. But remember that. So it may be you're pushing yourself far too hard, but you're going to have to articulate this to the people you're working for. And if you're your boss, really self-manage and make sure that you've got the time to stay grounded. Nobody can take from you what is actually yours. The work you've put in, again, I do feel quite hush-hush, that if you are working and you do have a plan, you're keeping your cards very close to your chest. Some people might be actually acting like they're hard done by. This may not be your energy at all. This could also be somebody that's unwell that you're working for, or in general you feeling really run down. But you know, this is like the Ten of Swords. You know, we don't want to be getting there, but I feel it's an overwhelming. You've worked so very hard to get where you are, but this is going to be something you're really happy about. Okay, so I do feel overall kind of the energy that's coming through is more there was a build up to this point. You've worked your butt off, right? You've been in the Ten of Swords energy, like it's near on kilter. You've really been working hard. You think it's never going to end, but the outcome you're going to be extremely happy with. And I'm hearing the song In the Name of Love. That may relate to you. There might be some information in that lyrics, very much linking in with what you're putting your energy into, some of the things that you've really been working on. And definitely when it does come to your finances and your employment, it's been heavy innings for you guys, but you're doing so very well. Now with your family. Family and tribe. One energy came through. Okay, the need to balance emotions. An invitation to a social event, falling in love, or wedding proposals. Now, I feel this is about a particular individual. Now, this could be in the family, or it could be directly happening to you. But I'm feeling for many of you, this is your energy. Now, I pulled a few clarifiers and I was really confused as to what was coming through initially because I wanted to clarify and look from every angle. Now, again, I do feel you know who you love. You know what you want. You know what you're passionate about. This could even be a passionate, you know, happy. It's happy, but I'm hearing some are winners and some are losers. So whatever choice you're making, you know, with your family, your tribe, again, marriages, contracts, partnerships, I do feel that you can be cutting particular people off and you're being very selective. There can also be, if you are wanting to move into a situation, you know what true worth is. You're like, people that don't value you, you will not be actually dealing with those energies. You can love them, but it's tough love. It's like trying to be cruel to be kind. And I wouldn't even say that. It doesn't feel like that. It feels more, whoever you're directly working with, it's because you have the common goal. You're building, okay? So whoever you're working with, it's you have the energy of wishing to do that and create that balance. But you also do need to be very mindful. And I just feel you're really focusing on that of what is working with you, not that of what isn't working with you. And that can even be, you know, in friendship groups, at work, you know, pettiness, and, you know, if you've got family and you're not seeing eye to eye. Again, I think you have so much going on, you simply do not have time for that. So I do feel you'll just really, you know, be sticking to yourself and really connecting in with the people that you feel are going to be better suited. Then we move into your environment, and there is a massive energy coming through of love, and it was 3 cards as a clarifier as the unseen before I even got to your love read, so you're going to want to hold on because it gets interesting. Your health and your environment, another reversal. Again, you're working very hard. There might be a situation, and again, this can be with a female energy, and again with Mars energy, there can be conflict with a female energy or a family energy, I'm feeling, because it's environmental. So this could be at work. It can be nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. Just be looking at that. And again, it is your 7th house. And it also falls into your 1st house. So how you are and how you're applying to the situation of your 7th house, how you directly relate to it, which is really great. It does mean a bit similar to the Aries and Chiron placement for Aries. We're all coming to it really from our own perspective as well as what house it falls in. So with particular individuals that are coming across quite aggressive, you know, it can be affecting your health. So you feel it's never letting up. Stretching your wings to fly. So this can be a direct contract, a partnership, an ex-partnership, something that's really holding you down. And it can directly be impacting, you know, your energy where you're not wanting to fight with people, you're tired of the same mundane, repetitious pattern. you know your capacity, because this is saying in the upright, don't underestimate yourself. You actually fully are aware of this and you do know how to handle it. You have tried every which way. There can be something linking in with this where they're trying to impact these areas, and this is, being a queen, it's a feminine energy. So it can be a female, could be a female anyway. This is a feminine energy, or this is a person who holds more empathic energies of, and I'm not saying about empathic, but I mean more so sly. I'll say that. Okay, so there's the energy of a fiery person coming in, trying to take something from what's yours, or manipulate or cause conflict in these areas. Now, again, the desires, again, it's very Capricorn energy. Whoever this person is, and it can be people. I'm going to pull another clarifier. Yeah, could be an ex with the children. It can be children, can be family. But in general, it can be a very immature person. So really trying to cause conflict with you. Again, it can be a cash component. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, money. Money. Money, kids. You know how it goes. We've all been there. Watching it, being in it, however it be. We've seen how certain situations can play out. And again, with Capricorn energy, it can be, you know, needing to go to court, mediation, or looking at it, you know, weighing up the pros and cons, especially with Juno being retrograde. You guys, let me have a look. I might have to write that under the notes for you guys. Where did I put it? Bear with me. I really want to have a look at this. Where did I put the charts? Oh, I found more charts. I've got paperwork everywhere. I'll have to write it under. Look where Juno falls for you. Or Libra. Because I'll be having not my chart on me right now. I'm telling you. This to me looks like Libra. Justice. Having to make a judgment, looking at things, balancing them, but seeing no balance, having to make a decision. And that is really where we very much do get to. So sometimes you can actually have ailments come through in your body, and especially since this is in your health, I'm going to pull a chakra card. But again, even just looking at these cards, I can tell you what chakra this activates. Very sad. This is your solar plexus and your sacral chakra, because when it comes to fights and conflict, if it's imbalanced and inactive, it can affect your workflow. It can also affect your abundance. From the solar plexus. Solar plexus? Yes, solar plexus, inner child, which is very much can be linking in with Cancer. It's your family, your tribe. And again, we did say that there's a child here, children, you know, a person's desires, and, you know, trying to stop you from having the things that you want, trying to stop you potentially from just living a peaceful life, or people not working with you, and you can be getting quite frustrated. So with that, you know, it is very much about what can you do in a situation. I mean, there's directly nothing you can do. Sometimes we do feel we just wish universe would sort this, but there is directly something we can always do. Doing nothing is still a choice. Stepping into the situation and stating your case, then accepting whatever that outcome is the outcome, and having to then directly step back and say, I've done what I can. We do need to be mindful because we have Mercury retrograde, so this is a regression that can bring toxic people back from the past, can bring positive people back from the past. So those of you waiting for someone to come back, yes, it does actually state so. But again, just check the frequency to see whether that has balanced out. Take your time with it. There's no rush. You know, it can be excitement that you have actually reached communication with the person you directly love. But just do be very mindful, you know, what is the rush? Really take your time, move through that energy. Now, by the time we reach the end of the month, which is very close to this Mars in Capricorn energy on the 22nd, we do have the Pisces moon, and that is another area we do need to be incredibly mindful. Don't paint rose-colored glasses. I do recall back when we had the Pisces frequency coming through. It's no shade on Pisces. It's really the energies that come through in astrology, and the way we can take on particular demeanors, mindsets, or it triggers and activates things in us. it can be very romanticized, but it also can be very hidden, okay? Because it can be 12th house, subconscious mind, illicit affairs, etc., etc. And we do have Mercury retrograde. So those things could potentially come about where you're looking at things and and it can be something that's really old and you're regressing back on it. Or you physically can be, if you're co-parenting, you can be dealing with certain things from the past. See how it directly plays out, but just food for thought. Be cautious near the Pisces moon. I do believe it is at the critical degree, so we do need to really be quite cautious around both times of the Leo moon. Leo moon, go inside yourself, do some deeper reflection. I do feel this is what you're going to be doing because it's in reverse. You might not feel so. Let's go. Or painting something that is not so, all that glistens is not gold, that sort of kind of thing. Really doing more the spiritual work and the internalization, and pause before action. Then we tuned into your unseen, and this is where it gets interesting. Something you haven't let go of can be becoming an issue. Now, this is potentially from last year, could even be longer, could be 13 years. This situation there's been aspects that have been moving forward, but there's been something in particular that hasn't moved forward. No matter which way you've dealt with it, it's felt very frustrating. It can even be an external person who you're not talking to anymore, where they just have not let go of a grudge, a thought, a belief system, a frequency, because it is in the unseen position. So this can directly be a wound that is occurring inside you, or it could very much at a separate nature be connecting in with somebody on your external environment that won't let something go. Now, the clarifier for this is a celebration, a wedding, graduation, birth announcement, the need to move forward, and the need for more fun. And again, it's interesting because Dolphina is very much linking in with Neptune. And there's a dolphin on the card. So when I see a dolphin, I'm linking in with Neptune and Dolphina, which was Medusa's child. You can look at the history. You'll understand. When we link in with this, it can be you're really seeing through the delusions and illusions, and you're looking at things. Some people might be thinking, hey, why the devil have you done this? I don't believe in what you're doing. And again, it's like, they're not understanding why you don't let something go. They want, and they might be wanting you to go back to an old way of being. You're potentially trying to move to a better vibration, or you might be thinking that a situation's going to pan out that's really not. So it does really link in with, if you can do the internal work and you can sit there and know how this directly relates. But I will pull a clarifier on that so we can really dig in and have a look. But at this point, I do feel this is to do with an external person who has an opinion about what you're trying to do, and they do want to know. This can even be where they're trying to look at you on social media, ask through the grapevine. It's like stalking energy. That's what it's really feeling like. Really being interested in what you're doing, even though it directly has nothing to do with them any longer. Defending your beliefs and desires, standing your ground, choosing your battles wisely. Again, it's like this is your energy coming through. It's like a please mind your own business card. And it's not even saying please. It's saying mind your beeswax. I'm just saying. Because the cycle, they're done and dusted with it. Cancer, you're done and dusted. You're like this. You won't end the cycle. You won't let go. I'm going to let go for you. Because you're not hearing what I'm saying. So it's this cycle, this new thing, what they're trying to create, how hard they've worked. Cancer, you've worked hard. You've been through the ringer. You kept trying. You're working hard. You're getting life back in order. Let's jump into your romance. Empress, crowning energy. You do have a person particularly on your mind. You do have in mind, in general, when reflecting on love, which is interesting because Juno will trigger in us thinking back to old connections. And that's all of us. So, again, I really do want to look where it falls for you. Bear with me. I do have my chart here because I do think it's important. Okay, it is your 4th house. And your 4th house is 1 minute. Wow. Juno going retrograde for you. If this is going to cause any conflict, again, I am thinking it's on the external. Now, your fourth house is... I'm like trying to tune into this and going, oh, wow, guys. Your individual relationships as a nurturer, like what your obligation is in that, or what people's expectations are, how you were brought up versus, you know, what directly other people's opinions and expectations are on you. And expectations, quite frankly, the more work you do on yourself, you actually realise you needn't have an expectation, because anyone can break their leg. So it's like, hey, you're going to walk me to school, right? Or you're going to walk down the hall and you're going to put all those clothing away, right? And then you break your leg and it's an expectation. It's like, well, I can't do that now. So that's where, you know, needs, food, water, shelter, their needs, wants, like I've explained to my children, candy. So it's really getting rational with the situation. Now, in this house, it is about your day-to-day routine. It's looking at things and it's how it's impacting you. And this even in romance, because Libra is going to be going retrograde in Juno. It is linking in similar to the contracts, partnerships, and marriage house. So again, you potentially are choosing more a person who is like-minded like you. And again, this is your crowning energy. Now, when I see 3, last year was a vibrational 3 year, this year is a vibrational 4. So you have had your eye on this, of what you're looking for in love for a very long time. It might have come up in a light bulb moment more so in an assessment factor, but now you're really understanding what it is exactly you need, not want, need as a benchmark. And I do feel, you know, your hopes and dreams and romance, that's like, if I can't live my dream, I'd rather be alone. And that's really the way you're coming across. You have an ideal. You may have found this person. You may be with this person and think this person's the bee's knees. That they lavish you with abundance, and both spiritual and emotional, giving birth to your dreams. It can be that you're actually moving to that next stage with the contracts and partnerships and the Libra energy coming through. And again, nurturing yourself and others, really picking your tribe and picking in the higher frequency energies and linking them in your love life and holding them near and dear. So it's healthy in a way of what you're trying to attempt to do here. Okay, your finances, again, and the way you're investing in this relationship, you have the 5 of Earth in reverse, which is actually positive. You may find that you are really going to pick this month who you feel is correct for you, and it's got nothing to do. Nobody can ever make you do anything. This is the crazy thing. I had this really amazing conversation the other day, and you know, when you do work on yourself, you actually realise, when you do look at your old patterns and things you do, we're not magic. We attract energy like a vibration and lessons. We can, once we've done work on ourselves, magically manifest, in a sense of being able to achieve that, because we're in correct alignment. So things naturally will come towards us because we've internally done work on ourselves. When a person hasn't done work on themselves, you tend to attract the same vibration you directly are. And I'm trying to make a point with this. I do feel you guys have made a lot of effort. You have actually done a great deal of work on yourself. That's the reason why finances, emotional abundance, spiritual abundance, if this is even just an energy you're taking on, it's going to reward you in leaps and bounds. So any short-term loss is going to be at a physical, spiritual, and psychological foundation 100 times better than what you've lived before. And I feel with you needing to change direction, even if you do find that this month you do go through hell, it is going to take you out of the woods. But don't get to the point you break down, okay? When I'm saying that, don't overwork yourself. Pace yourself, do what you need to do. Again, healthy boundaries. If you feel you need a break and you've been working too much, have your break. Do what you need to do. Look after your health. But I'm feeling more external people going to be giving you BS this month. But I feel you're going to address every challenge, and I feel more you're just creating healthy boundaries and just really keep focused, like tunnel vision, on your goals. Be mindful of the energies around you, because I do feel a lot of manipulative, jealous ego energy, and with the Leo moon, how people directly relate to that. And then Mars moving into Capricorn, it's take the advice, really apply it where it fits, and have a look at these energies around you to white light and protect yourself. So be in your mindfulness with Mercury retrograde and the other aspects being made. Back to your read with the romance. So, emotionally, spiritually, you're looking at the past and you're thinking, no, I've done a lot of work, I've come quite far. This connection has gone through a lot. But you do see, with what you're moving towards, either at a manifestation level of the laws of attraction, or directly this is somebody you're with right now. Whatever vibration you're taking on, whatever you decide, you want the best of the best of the best. But this is, in general, you on your own, you feel you've been through the ringer many, many years. This can even be that you've had a lot of history with this person and you've seen all shades of grey. For some of you. In general, you feel whatever's coming towards you is really good, really positive, in alignment, as much as you like, they like. It's like it's again the laws of attraction. How you vibrate is what comes directly towards you. There can be some really great news coming between you and romance, be it with a person or you're moving towards them. But the energy surrounding love it's going to be a great opportunity. It's going to be something that's really good. Even your mindset, sorting these areas, it's taking you to a higher ground of, having the ability to let this move to the next level. Yeah, not willing to give up on a person, really adamant that you know what you want. Now, what is the below energy? I'm going to pull clarifiers. I'm going to pull a clarifier on that. I'm going to pull the top card off and the bottom. I feel there's been a conversation that's either come up or will come up. Depends on how it goes, but I do feel some of you, this has already played out last month, so it's a movement from that factor, especially with the aspects that Saturn and Pluto were making. Towards the very end of the month, it was like aftershock energy of the transit, and again that does fall in your marriages, contracts, partnerships. So the first energy coming through is the Two of Cups, which again is, to me, I'm looking at it from this perspective. Your connection, your relationship, the people you're linking in with, past tense, present tense, really needing to pause. Also, potentially needing to let something go. Again, accusations, manipulation, conflict, however this directly relates to you. Okay, yeah, third party energy. Somebody from the past who's trying to pull you in, and I'm feeling it's more third party energy, or even just past energy in general, pain body experience, but having to let it go and knowing that this is the only way to proceed forward. This whatever transpired did not make you prepared. You were trying to balance the situation out, and I do feel push-pull energy. And again, I'm getting letting go, having to let this completely go, because it is the foundation of what you have, of the reason why everything above is looking fantastic, but the direct foundation is looking quite, funny. Again, King of Fire, motivation, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communication, communicate your vision and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. You are in your own energy. It could be directly looking at things where, again, your power's being taken, feeling like you're a pie and you're being cut in half. But half of it's over there, half of it's over there. You're trying to pull it together, but it's sort of not matching. It's not blending like a cake should. One's turned into mousse, the other one's turned into rock cake, and you're trying to make them mesh, and it feels as though some of that power, it's made you quite confused. And I feel due to this energy going on, I do feel with your strength, again, somebody trying to take your power away, somebody manipulating you over here, affecting your workflow and your growth. Your family and your tribe is saying a similar thing. I just feel in general you are, you're trying to be very positive, and you're really mixing the positive. Yeah, you knew this would come. So in a way, you knew that this person, okay, and I'm getting a secondary message now. This directly can be external energies that aren't communicating with you, that don't take advice, that don't take ownership of their own situation. They're not motivated. It's very, because it's in reverse and it's the foundation, and you knew this would happen. You know that they don't, again, this can be a person feeling like they've lost out. And again, they're not using the logic when it comes to their money, their finances, how they invest in situations. And they're not wanting to learn a lesson. They have not learnt this lesson. They don't, it's like saying the sky is green, but it's blue. Then painting it. Bad analogy. You grasp what I'm saying. We can't teach people. A person learns lessons naturally. It might have been you had applied yourself to a past tense environment differently. This can even be with the same individual. So on a reflective level, if this energy had come through in a verbal conversation and it's being tamed down, you actually are now willing to move forward. For others of you, this can directly be two energies, especially with this, really facing these shadow energies of how it's directly impacting your direct new start, which you have been working very hard on. And to me, I feel it's an external person. You are stepping into this energy of really, your marriages, contracts, partnerships. This is king energy. Balancing both areas. Having to do too much. Again, I did mention this. Splitting yourself between, it's a bit like the tightrope energy. I'm hearing pick a side, but it's your side. And that's the hard part, I guess, when you're split in half. And you're juggling it, but you actually are technically trying to make yourself happy, because but it's, I'm getting this very interesting look. It's like you see the rationale of the situation, but then you're looking at your subconscious mind and asking yourself what you're trying to achieve. You can't be at two places at once. It's impossible. And we do try to create these massive balancing situations, but sometimes we do tend to bite off more than we can chew. It has potentially become imbalanced, and you do know that even doing that is a risk. So just be really mindful. This Mars energy, I'm warning you. I'm telling you, if you've got a good thing and you've been working hard on it, you better protect it, because this person or people, if they be jealous, you're going to reach a point. You will have to look at what you've chosen. And you don't want to undermine the foundation. If you know someone here in this situation is manipulating, trying to take you back, and you're directly allowing that energy in, it could affect it. But you have chosen what path you wish to walk and what energy you wish to usher in. You will directly attract that. So it's making healthy choices, really. That's what it comes down to. But I do feel you've already done that, and I feel that's why it's going like this. Okay, external energy. 3 cards, please. Because you've got it everywhere. It's like all over. Why am I hearing this song? I'll pull a card for that song in a minute. Yeah, losing hope in a situation. They're going in the wrong direction. I'd be very careful around the 22nd. Just, be cautious with this. This person can be feeling quite frustrated. this feels quite tactical. Hopefully the energy is learning, in a sense, that they have to have their own fresh start, and they're now maybe looking at things and making a plan. But again, this can be to do with a family. Okay, I'm just saying. There can be an energy where you're looking at paperwork. It can be, it feels more to do with the person actually learning something, but it can also be at the lower frequency around the 22nd, where it's quite a tactical approach, and like it's all or nothing. So just be really mindful of that. Yeah, it can be a legality. I'm feeling between the Leo moon, because this card is relating in with Leo. Do be mindful. Leo moon comes through on the 9th. Now, I'm going to pull a card for this song. Who is this song about? What is this song about? Okay, you have a spiritual connection with someone. You also, again, the Pisces energy, 12th house, which is very psychic. Again, it's interesting because with Mars coming through, it does link in with Scorpio, and Scorpio can be deeply psychic as well. Regardless of these signs I'm actually mentioning, what I need you to be mindful of, this song I'm hearing in my head, You Spin Me Right Round, Baby Right Round, go and listen to that song. This is, you will intuitively know what this is about when you hear it. Now, this can be about someone that you really like, or just you feel like everything's going everywhere, everything's going, but you're trying to get into your intuition, which is positive. If you can get grounded, and it can be a very spiritual person, so you can be linked in with a person who's spiritual, who's deeply intuitive and an empath, or this can be in general you're needing to go into this energy yourself, because you also, Cancer, are deeply spiritual and psychic. But it's really tuning into it in a way that you can get your downloads, you can have that, no white noise, so to speak. And even sometimes when we do listen to music, we intuitively go into that trance of trying to listen to our energy and see how we feel. Just create some healthy boundaries. Take some time this month, and I'll see you during the month. If you want a booking, go to the link. I'll see you during the month. Love and light.